So, La Rochelle versus Leicester Tigers. Back to Champions Cup action. A chance, albeit a small chance, to maybe get to confirm our qualification in the knockout stages. Obviously, a win, I presume, would confirm our passing to the knockout stages of the group of death. Obviously, last week we faced the reigning champions of the Premiership, came out on top. But this week we face the almighty task of the reigning Champions Cup victors, well, back-to-back victors as well. And I think they made the final the year before that, La Rochelle, a team that I don't think many of us had heard of. Was it 10 years ago? And then suddenly they're the best club team, arguably, on the planet. Just play with such physicality, such pace, French internationals galore. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but strangely they go into it 0-2. Obviously, we're beaten at home by Leinster, the team that has been their nemesis, really, Leinster, against La Rochelle. The last two finals, that encounter, Leinster got their victory away from home, and then they lost. La Rochelle lost against Stormers with, was it the last play of the game almost? Yeah, so they're going 0-2. I think they're down in 8th in the top 14 as well. I believe a lot of it has come down to injuries and the fact that a lot of the team is World Cup French players, and I think they got a bit of a rest after the World Cup ended. Unfortunately, we faced them pretty much fully loaded, but obviously for them, the pressure is completely on them at home. They need to win. If not, I think they need 5 points to really stand a chance of getting into the knockout stages. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It really is. But onto the teams, the Tigers. I think a really nice balance. Really happy with that team sheet. So backline, gone Brown, Watson, Kelly, Catter, Bassett, Shilcock, Youngs. Obviously great to see some returning injuries. Obviously Watson looked like he picked up some sort of injury against Exeter, but good to see him back not too long after. Bassett, same again actually, he picked up the injury against Exeter as well. Good to see them back, with Mike Brown back at his regular position at fullback, and Jamie Shilcock getting a deserved start at fly half. Has obviously been brilliant this season, probably our signing of the season so far. Yeah, he's been great and obviously was very instrumental in that victory over Stad away from home, so good to see him being given the start. Into the pack, Cronin, Montoya, Cole, Martin, Chesham, Rogerson, Cracknell, Hatherall. Great to see Dan Cole back. The scrum is going to be absolutely massive. They've got some absolute beasts when it comes to scrum time. So, yeah, it's good that we've got Dan Cole there. Martin Chesham have been absolutely phenomenal these last few weeks. They're going to have to step up again because they're going to come up against some monsters in the second row. And then back row, Rogerson, Cracknell, Hatherall. Obviously, Hatherall was there last season. I'm sure he'll know what they're all about, understand what the task is ahead of the team. Cracknell has been maybe a little bit quiet so far this season. I'm expecting a big game from him. Rogerson, I think, has been very impressive these last few weeks with Liebenberg's absence. Onto the bench, Theobald, Thomas, Van Veek, Hayes, Carter, Visa, Whiteley, Pollard and Scott. It's a great bench, isn't it? Absolutely awesome. To have Andre Pollard on the bench is just, yeah, if things are not looking good at half time, he can come on and hopefully change things. Jasper Visa in the second half, like, blimey. To give him 40 minutes and just go absolute at it, yeah. Good luck to La Rochelle trying to defend that. Carter had an absolutely brilliant game against Stade Francais. Hopefully he can make the same of that. But, yeah. It's a superb bench and great to see Scott back out there after picking up an eagle a few weeks ago. Yeah, I really like the balance of the team. It's a bit of rotation, but it's still a very, very strong team. Great bench. No complaints from me. Looked at that and was like, buzzing. Really happy with that. Probably shouldn't have looked at the La Rochelle team, should I? God. I felt very confident, saw that, absolutely scared. So, La Rochelle... Backline, Doolan, Thomas, Sutimni, Dante, Lades, Hastoy, Kerbarlow. Yeah, what's more to say? That has got a bit of everything, hasn't it? Thomas seems to have been through a few French clubs, maybe not quite settled anywhere, but he's electric on his day. Doulan's electric ball in hand. Lades has been brilliant for La Rochelle over the last few seasons. Dante, probably the best 12 in the world at the moment. Hastoy has been, another one that's a name we hadn't heard of a few years ago, but he's been brilliant. Same with Barlow. It's the names we've all seen in those finals the last 2 seasons. It's a very well-rounded back line. Into the pack, Wardy, Bugarit, Antonio, Deland, Skelton, Bodahant. Sorry about these pronunciations. Bottier and Aldry. French internationals. Will Skelton, the absolute probably biggest player in rugby at the moment. Bossier, just an absolute superhuman, one of the best players in the world, especially at the breakdown. He can literally do anything. And Aldry, just such a consistent number 8. And scrum time. Antonio is an absolute beast. Buggery is one of the best hookers in the world. It's Sunpack. It is Sunpack. As with the backline, got it all, got some pace, got serious amount of power, international amount of power and physicality there. Scary. Very, very scary. Onto the bench, I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these names, but 6-2 bench, 6-2 split on the bench. Tanga, another one that's very, big beast of a man. All of them are just mammoths of men, and I think Royce is a really exciting young prospect at fly half. There's not too much else to say, is there? We've all seen the team. We're all pretty scared and know what sort of game they can play. Their physicality is just through the roof. It's what's beat Leinster the last few years. Leinster just couldn't compete with the physicality and the power that this side has, especially with the 6-2 split off the bench. It's as tough as it gets at club level. Probably the toughest team you can play at club level, arguably. Not too much more to say, is there? It's some team. It is some team, especially at home, they need a win. So prediction, I am expecting a La Rochelle win. I think they just have a bit too much for us, but I'm sure we're going to give it an absolute hell of a go. I'm sure McKellar has got a great plan and a great game plan and tactics that he think can beat this La Rochelle team, this big La Rochelle team. Maybe going to try and get their big pack to move around the park quite a lot. The lads are going to be absolutely up for it, because this is a great test for every single one of the 23. Facing up against, the likes of George Martin and Ollie Chesterham, up against Delan and Skelton. That is, some battle between them. It's going to be tough. A losing bonus point would be an absolutely phenomenal result. But we could do something very, very special on Sunday. Could possibly, if we somehow get a win, could possibly be the best ever European victory, Champions Cup victory in our history. We've obviously got a lot of confidence going away from home in these last few years. Was it unbeaten in 5 away in France? We won't be scared of this team, no doubt about it. We've got class players that I'm sure La Rochelle are wary of, La Rochelle fans that are wary of. We're going to go there and just give it our absolute all. And I can't wait to be there. I haven't been on a French away day in many, many years. Generally can't remember what the last one was. I cannot wait to be there. It's a stadium that when you watch it on TV, it looks like an absolutely phenomenal atmosphere. Especially seeing as they need to win, I feel like the atmosphere is going to be great. Seems like there's quite a few Leicester fans that are going to be making the trip over, as we do in every away day. Hopefully it's going to be an absolutely amazing game, amazing atmosphere. Cannot wait to be there on Sunday. I've been buzzing about it ever since I bought the tickets. Bring it on. Bring it on. Leicester Tigers against La Rochelle. This is what being a Tigers fan is all about. Bring it on.